everyone, I'm Brian Petty and I'm here with my good friend Walt from ProCharger, and as you can see there are a number of different superchargers here. I mean, Walt, walk me through some of them because there's a lot and I don't even know which one's which.
Basically what we have going on here is a variety of our 9-inch housing superchargers. We have several different ones we've been making for a bunch of years. The P-1X supercharger is kind of our latest version of that family.
Walk me through some of the specs on these because I know that they look a lot similar in size, but when it comes to power, they are not the same at all.
The biggest thing with these new superchargers is that they're high efficiency. We've taken some of the things that we've learned and trickled down that technology to our street applications. Imagine the P-1S, which is our kind of tried and true supercharger we've been doing for a long time, versus the P-1X. The shape of the blade, the height of the blade, the thickness of the supercharger, when you imagine what the supercharger is able to do, it's about how much air it can pull in, how much air it can press, and then how much air it can get out.
I want to talk about the P-1X because this thing seems to be an animal. I don't know if it's an upgrade or just the newest version, but it can support a lot of power. It's rated at like 875, right?
875, yep. So over our P-1S, it picked up about a 50 horse gain in regards to how much it can support horsepower wise. Again, as I mentioned, the biggest thing is its efficiency. In some of the design of actually how the impeller's made and the housing is done, it can actually produce a higher level of horsepower, not only just drive power. When we try to spin a supercharger up to its maximum RPM, it's not going to need quite a small pulley to make the same amount of power. In most applications we can pick up 10 to 15 horsepower gain by doing nothing else other than going from that to this.
All of these blowers go on the same kind of bracketry. They all fit different engine combinations, and one of the engine combinations that I want to talk about is the GM Chevy Performance LSX 376 B15, and all three of these blowers would work.
They're all internally oiled. There's no need for any extra oil lines or oil coolers, any of that sort of thing. You can get them in different clockings, so depending on the type of bracket you're using or the application, let's say, you can move them around in a bunch of different ways. The volute, you can rotate 360 degrees. But basically you can start from a P-1S and go all the way up to an F2 on the same bracket. As long as you have room to your shock tower and valve cover in some cases, whatever, it will all still bolt up the same bracket, same bolt pattern. You can go from 875 horsepower to 1200 plus.
That's huge when you're talking about street car power. And the P-1X is 50 state legal in your kits, correct?
That's right. If you buy 100% stock car, like a 15 to 18 Mustang, you buy our kit, stock exhaust, stock everything else, you basically bolt our kit on, it is 50 state legal compliant.
As a car guy, I am super stoked on that because we can put it on, it's 50 state legal, it can make a bunch of power, it can go fast down the track, I can still keep my air conditioning, I can still keep my power steering, and that is something that is incredible. I don't know about you, but I want to hop into one of these cars. I want to go out to lunch, and I'm going to let you get behind the wheel and see what because you haven't driven them. I've driven them, and I want you to drive them, and we can talk about it because both of these cars are fast. They make a bunch of power, and like I said, they're still insanely comfortable to drive. So let's go grab some lunch.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
It's great just to be able to cruise the car around, beat on it, but then idle through traffic and butt through traffic like you need to. Run in the air, not sweating, it's great. But then, you want to get crazy and passing cars, you can just kick it down and get going.
Oh my gosh, this car is so fast, and it was like we were talking, it sacrificed nothing. What other things are simpler with the ProCharger than, say, some other power adder?
Well, the fact that it is 100% bolt-on, not having to worry about knocking holes in the oil pan, not having to cut, bypass, hack, none of that other kind of stuff that you're gonna have to do. You can bolt this kit on 100% complete, ready to go. But then if you ever decide that you want to trade it in on a new model or whatever the case is, you can pull the kit off, put it back to 100% stock without any other changes. Which is really important for us because when you think about our 50 state compliant kits where we have to utilize the stock headers, the stock cats and things like that, it really matters that you don't have to change all that. Plus, you get the added benefit of not having to start the car up in the morning and make all your neighbors mad when you leave for work.
So we just got back. It's super comfortable. It's super fast. I mean, tell me about, how did it feel?
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of the centrifugal style supercharger is that you're gonna get all of the efficiency without any of the lag, without any of the extra heat, and so on that you might see from other types of forced induction.
But now we need to talk about the even bigger supercharger, which I'm super excited about, because anything with high horsepower, I want to know. The F-1A 94 seems like a monster.
Yeah, that's a really cool piece. Some of our older Supercharger technology, which is obviously still good in a lot of applications, it's just getting tighter to fit in the underhood compartments of the late model stuff, particularly on the Mustang and the Camaro. So now what we can do is still make that big horsepower number, but give it in a small package. The F-194 is a really, really good fit for a small engine base.
And it all bolts up to the same brackets as the P-1X and the D-1X. Yep. And all three of these Superchargers have different pulley combinations, so you can go from mild, everyday driver to wild if you want to take it to the racetrack. Mm-hmm. And that's something that's super important when it comes to how you're driving your car and what you're building it for.
Yep, absolutely. They have a different step-up ratio of the F-Series versus a P-1X or D-1X. Even though they're still a 9-inch housing Supercharger, the actual internal gear ratio is different. So if you imagine it like the rear end ratio in your car, where you have a high gear or low gear versus that's kind of the same technologies in the Supercharger. There's actually internal differences that allow it to spin up faster and support that higher level of horsepower depending on the type of engine build you're working on. Particularly on a late model car with a 8 or 10 speed automatic that keeps the RPMs up, you're going to be right in the sweet spot, so to speak, of where the Supercharger is going to want to be. But unlike a positive displacement or screw type Supercharger, you're going to get all the efficiency and none of the heat and so on that you might get with something like that.
Where can somebody go if they want to find out more information about a ProCharger for whatever they're driving, racing?
Well, they can visit ProCharger.com, or they can give us a call on the phone. We got a big staff that's actually going to be able to help you out. You're not going to talk to your computer, you're going to get one of us on the phone. We can talk to you about your racing application, your truck, your boat, your motorcycle, your side-by-side, pretty much anything you want to supercharge, we're going to get you fixed up.
Walt, I want to thank you for coming out and educating everyone about all these new Superchargers. They're fantastic, and I'll keep you updated on the Corvette once we get the engine, the Supercharger, and I'll keep you updated as well on the pony cars and how fast they go at the track, because all that power, it's going to go fast.